Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakwadash. All right, once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Let me move this down here. All right, who rule well and deserve double honors. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim out there on highways and byways, pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, trying to wake up the remaining, hopefully elect. All right, this is Nama of the DC camp. And once again, this asshole pops up. His name is Vivek Ramaswamy. Swami. Yes, an Elamite. This is the piece of shit. And I have to say, before I continue, I've never been a fan of Don Lemon. But I understand why he, and even in his little rant, he still showed restraint, trying to be professional. But I was glad that he stood up to this piece of shit right here, trying to tell someone whose people have been over here and who, by the way, this piece of shit owes his current status to those people that he chose to denigrate because someone from the far right, which he represents, whispered into his ear, here's the thing about your enemy, our enemy, which is the nation of Edom, all right, the descendants of Jacob's brother, Esau, all right, who refer to themselves as white people for the last 300 and some odd years, all right, which they're not, we know that, okay, they're red, hence the nation of Edom, Adawam in the Hebrew is red, all right, so here he is, talking all this shit to Don Lemon about, well, this is what your people have done, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, motherfucker, dude. Hey, I'm sitting right here. And this is the level of disrespect that no one else endures. All right, not even the so-called, the people that are pretending to be us. All right, the Jewish, all right, who wish they were Jews. All right. Daniel 9 and 12. Let's get that real quick. These are things that, let's get it. Let's see. Daniel 9 and 12. And it says, and he has confirmed his words, which he spoke against us and against our judges who judged us, by bringing upon us a great disaster, of course, a great evil, for under the whole heaven, such has never been done as what has been done unto Jerusalem. You remember, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. All right, so here it is. It's constant. All right, and those people that are pretending to be us, they have to. Let's go here. Let's go to Lamentations 2 and 13. It says, "How shall I console you? To what shall I liken you, O daughter of Jerusalem? What shall I compare with you? What can you? Well, what we're continually going through since we were first brought over here, a lot of our people are still under that lie, all right, that all things were good after 1865. Like, what world are you living in? A lot of our own people will say, because of the great con that I call that era, the so-called civil rights era, that that helped to integrate us, which was bullshit. And I'm wondering just how many people still believe that was to benefit us. All right. You'll notice everybody else that comes over here sticks among their own. They profit amongst their own. But our people, and of course, being under the curses, this is prophesied. He broke those bonds between us, not only between northern and southern kingdom, but individual. We cannot stick together for nothing. It's like someone said one time, I'm going to be nice. Jake will sell out another for a 2-piece and a biscuit. All right. That's just, we're all over the place. And all these other people, You got to understand there's strength in unity. That's one of the things. And this devil has been expert, all right, at keeping us apart, just about in every aspect of existence. All right. So let me continue on. What shall I compare with you that I may comfort you, O virgin daughter of Zion? For your ruin is spread wide as the sea. Everybody talks about how we're so fucked up. And our people haven't caught up. Why? Because in these churches are not telling you what you need to know. You know, and it's strange, not in, uh, it's weird, I should say. We know, according to the scriptures what's going on, but you'd be surprised a lot of people just out there well, we know you got to keep pushing harder. You got to get more education. They always think education. No, education. We're not going to educate your way out of a curse. I don't care how much education you got. I don't care how much money you've acquired. It's not going to. We're going to be here until that curse. We're going to be in this condition until this curse is lifted. Until what? Shiloh comes. Until Yahweh Shah comes back. All right. Already we can see some of these curses being transferred over to our enemy, and that's a good thing. Once again, let me finish this out. For your ruin is spread wide as the sea. Who can heal you? That's the point. And I watched that interview with this piece of shit. I hope whoever hasn't seen it will try to search this interview with this devil here, Vivek Ramaswamy, and it's Don Lemon's last interview before they fired him. They were like, well, this is the straw that broke the camel's back, so they let him go. And he was standing up for himself, and hey, not to make him a hero or anything, but he was saying, well, wait a minute, how are you going to tell me, or people that have been over here for all some shit that our enemy has told you? You see, you understand how disrespectful, but they do that because they know they can get away with it. Why? Because we have no power to punish them. Yet. All right, that's cold disrespect. Gonna tell you, well, after the Second Amendment, that really empowered. They've been doing everything to keep us from benefiting from the Second Amendment. All right, this guy is totally. See, that's just shit when these motherfuckers come over here and kiss the so-called white man's ass. All right, and now he's supposed to be in this fucking. Not only do you have pieces of shit like this, but you have those in our own community. This Tim Scott, this bootlick tour that they got. This motherfucker from what is he? The lieutenant governor? Is it North Carolina or is it South Carolina? Saying he stood up in that the last presidential election cycle. He was in response to the Dems. I forget that piece of shit's name, but he was talking about, no, you're not going to get reparations. It said, we as a people should be paying the descendants of a Union Army reparations. And I'm listening to this motherfucker. See, you got people like this, unfortunately. Fuck them. This place, America, has been the bane of our existence. And it has, death. All right. But let's go ahead and listen to some of this, man. This is just...
It's about this. It's about ramen noodle, y'all. It's about freaking ramen noodle.
That's his nickname, ramen noodle.
I want y'all to listen to this right quick.
No one gets disrespected like this.
We're starting from a different point where, forget about the debate about pro-family policies. We have anti-family policies in this country, right? So we need to get that government out of the way. Let me teach you something about the 1960s. Okay? Lyndon Johnson launched the greatest misnomer in political history when he called it the Great Society. It was the Awful Society, is actually what he unleashed, where they actually paid families, and he was supposedly in the name of helping back black families. A black family, by the way, 70% of black kids in the 1960s, over 70% were born into two-parent households. All right, today it's less than 30%. Why? Because you get what you pay for. So they paid them more to actually have a single-parent household. That mom could make more saying, I'm married to Uncle Sam instead of married to you. Well, why the heck do I have you around? Well, I don't really blame them for we've induced people to make economic decisions. They make the decisions in part that they're incentivized to make. You get what you pay for. So
What is he leaving out?
the low-hanging fruit is get the government the heck out of the way with these anti-family policies, and then we restore the best-known governing institution to mankind. We conservatives, we do say, and I'm with you, I say that we don't trust the big government. When we say in God we trust, in the bottom of our coins, let me translate that for you. It means in government we distrust. That's what it means. But the best known governing institution to mankind, it's not just that we're against big government.
You notice how uneasy these motherfuckers are in the audience, all right? I just want to know if you picked up on that. But you got to ask yourself, what is he leaving out? And we'll address that right after, I'll let this play a little bit longer.
We're in favor of that best known form of governance, the two-parent, stable family household.
Okay, so this is Vivek Ramaswamy. I've talked about him a couple of times on the channel. Some people was like, who people was in the chat was saying, who is Ramen Noodle? That's the nickname that I've given him. Y'all know I love to give out nicknames to these clowns. But yes, this is Vivek Ramaswamy. He is one of the people that's planning on running for president on the Republican ticket in 2024. And Gnome King actually said it in the chat before I had a chance to, but I didn't want to stop the video. But before I actually get into it, shout out to Trinity Girl to the Bone for the super chat. She said, thank you, Torian Reloaded B1. I appreciate it. Gnome King actually said it in the chat. There's not one black person in this room.
I think there's
Again,
one.
there is not one black.
We are literally going viral.
Salakia.
Let's go big or go home. Again, there is not one black person in this room. Yet he has the
Maybe
nerve
one.
to sit up there and talk ish about us. Now he will get in front of a crowd of people where there's not one black person there and talk about us in front of them. And it's recorded, and it's not like it's not going to get back to us because we clearly see it, saw it floating online, so we definitely know that it is you. So, I tell you, the only way this guy can thrive is whenever he's talking about us. And Gnome King, you are right. Black people live rent-free in everyone's minds. That's why they said we have no friends. Vivek Ramaswamy, a.k.a. Ramen Noodle, is a perfect example of that. All you got to do, for those of y'all are unaware, just go to his Twitter account. This guy has a whole shrine on a given day of him just talking crap about black people. And his constituents and his followers, his base, just sit there and eat it up like it's the gospel truth. I kid you not. This guy brought up about the family structure and decided to use black people as an example, when he could have honestly used any family for that matter. But society structures it as the broken family and the broken home has to be the black family.
Well, it is, all right, for obvious reasons, all right. But the thing is, what he's leaving out, all right, is that was all planned by the establishment. You know, all you have to do is look at history. There's a book that I hope everybody's gotten by now. It's called How White Folks Got So Rich. And it tells you all the dirty shit that they did. In particular, when it came to us, all right, it's called Arrested Development, all right? And that would include what he's talking about here. That was done, in lieu of feminism, all right? And our women bit, they took the bait. And look where we are now as a result. So it wasn't, and look at the generations that have come as a result of that. and how wild. This was all planned. This was not by happenstance, all right? This was all, everything when it comes to what scripture? Psalms 83rd chapter. We keep bringing it out. Any way they could destabilize us and keep us from becoming a nation, that's part of that, all right? And it has worked to near perfection, all right? But it's like now, enough people, I would say enough people, people are waking up and have woken up. But those that haven't, fuck them. They're meant to be that way. And they fall under the 2/3. All right? Their fate has already been decided. We're out there on the highways and byways. We're in the agora, out there in the marketplace, so to speak. All right? Where everybody can come in here, not hidden away in some funky ass fucking building and shit. All right. So this is what we're doing. This is what we're commanded to do. And those that will hear, all right, and repent, come back. Hey, you gotta understand the temple, the real temple is being built. Brother by brother, sister by sister, but really it's the men. Proverbs 8:4, Revelation 21:3. All right. This is the third temple. All right. It's the actual Israelite, not some physical building. All right. Because what happened to the last two? Duh. All right. So let's hear a little bit more.
When I did that video earlier today on Rachel Campos Duffy, who was talking about Mauricio Garcia, the Allen, Texas mall shooter, saying that coming from fatherlessness and smoking marijuana, who do they put that on? Now, mind you, I believe she said that before she even knew the identity of the shooter. But she went to fatherlessness and marijuana. We know who they're talking about when they say that. It's the code speak.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about black people. They absolutely hate whenever there is a situation like that happens and is not a black person that does it.
Yep.
That's why they had to try to get in front of it when they learned that Mauricio Garcia not only was the shooter, but also had white supremacist ties. You should have saw the horde of comments from white people on Twitter trying to get in front of.
As owner of Mint Mobile, I always want to find ways to save you money.
Salakia.
Let's meet the barely paid spokesperson for the new.
From white people on Twitter trying to get in front of that. They were saying he's Mexican, he's Latino, he's Hispanic, he's whatever. There's no possible way that.
But see, it's that's the thing. It's that ideology. All right. They don't want to own that. They don't want to own it. But on the flip side of that, they'll look at us and say, oh no, that's hate speech. They're teaching hate. But what did this guy do? He flipped out. I mean, he might be a terror. I don't know. But it could be a Jake. In this case, it doesn't matter. Because what? He took in that philosophy. All right. That white supremacist so-called philosophy. And acted accordingly. So it still has to be viewed as one of them doing it. But like he said, they're trying to get ahead of it. It ain't gonna work. I mean, that poison that you put out. What was that movie? The Hate That You Give. Hey, and you wonder. That's why no one. Well, let me rephrase that. That's why people around the world, you're being revealed. You devils are being revealed That's like this idiot speaking here. That's that ideology, that he's taken to. All right. So people around the world, like I started to say, are on to you now. And you're running scared. I'm talking about so-called white men. I'm talking about the Edomite. And these elites see this. That's what's behind this push, all right, to try to get this New World Order established, to try to get this digital currency set up to where what is about more control. And when they do this, there's a video circulating around about this stupid ass woman. She was all championing for the chip. It's so convenient. I can, yes. Well, lo and behold, what happened? They cut her shit off. Now she's trying to warn everybody. Oh no. You can't make this up, man. But it's beautiful to see. We seeing the end of our enemy, and that should make you happy. All right. Hey, there's tough times coming ahead, but it's worth it to get these motherfuckers out of here. I mean, the so-called this beast system that's coming, and the people that are over it, that are responsible for it, they're on the way out. All right. Luke 10 and 18. Let's get that real quick. They are on the way out. And this is Yahushua talking to the disciples, all right? And he said, it says the happy results, all right? It says, and he said that he is Yahushua said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. That means this particular heaven means his rulership, all right? And you see this now. If you're paying attention, this is what's been going on, all right? This motherfucker's losing his grip, and he thinks by instituting this digital currency system, he's right about that. If it goes into full effect, it's total control. They'll know what you're buying, when you're buying it. In the case if you're buying something for anybody else, all those transactions they see all that. There's no working under the table, anything like that to get extra income. Everything's taxable now, if that goes through. All right. And it's, hey, prophecy. They can't stop it. All right. But a lot of people are going to be fucking miserable. And not only that, you got to understand, if you do not, and that's what Revelation 13 and 16 and 17 is all about. If you do not become part of this new system, you're assed out. You're out in the cold, literally. Because on that woman, when she was championing that chip and they cut her off, she had everything in there. Even it served as the key. She could not even get into her home. She was completely out. Now you want to cry. But this is what, you got to understand, all this push for electric vehicles and all that. All I got to do now is push a button. But you got so many people that are so fucking stupid and caught up in this world, they can't see it for what it really is. All right. Hey, so I don't want to ramble on. Yeah, this guy had the nerve. His nickname is Ramen Noodle, Vivek Ramaswamy. All right, an Elamite. Another one of these other nations talking shit about it and using us. Now, here's the real thing he's saying here. You got to understand, read between the lines. He's saying that strategy was so effective against the blacks. Now it's happening. It's starting to happen to you. You people, I'm talking to you. You white people. That's really what he's trying to say. All right. So now we got to do something. What will we do? See, they're expert at speaking in code. You, all right, have to learn to decipher. All right, so you can understand. It all goes back to that motherfucker Lee Atwater during the Reagan and Bush Senior administrations. He was, what was his, he was an advisor, but he had a Oh, what was his rank? His station? Hell, it's easy to look up. This motherfucker here. Oh, you're gonna love this. Let's see. Here we go. It's called the Southern Strategy. All right. Lee Atwater, infamous 1981 interview on Southern Strategy. All right, let's look up him first. Lee Atwater. Harvey Leroy Lee Atwater. Yeah, Most High gave him a fucking brain tumor, piece of shit. Was an American political consultant and strategist for the Republican Party. He was an advisor for Republican U.S. Presidents Ronald Reagan and George H.W., that's Daddy Bush, the late Daddy Bush, and chairman of the Republican National Committee. That's what he was. Okay. Atwater aroused controversy through his aggressive campaign tactics, especially the Southern Strategy. Let's see what that is. Remember I was talking about they speak in code, right? Southern Strategy in American politics, the Southern Strategy was a Republican Party electoral strategy to increase political support among white voters in the South by appealing to racism against African Americans. As the civil rights movement and dismantling of Jim Crow laws in the 50s and 60s visibly deepened existing racial tensions in much of the southern United States, Republican politicians such as presidential candidate Richard Nixon and Senator Barry Goldwater developed strategies that successfully contributed to the political realignment of many white conservative voters in the South who had traditionally supported the Democratic Party. It also helped to push the Republican Party much more to the right relative to the 50s. The phrase Southern Strategy refers primarily to top-down narratives. Oh, there go that word again, narratives of the political realignment of the South, which suggests that Republican leaders consciously appealed to many white Southerners' racial grievances to gain their support. This top-down narrative of the Southern Strategy is generally believed to be the primary force that transformed the Southern politics following the Civil Rights Movement era, that is. The scholarly consensus is that racial conservatism was critical in the post-Civil Rights Act realignment of the Republican and Democratic parties, though several aspects of this view have been debated by historians and political scientists. All right, here it is. The perception that the Republican Party had served as the vehicle of white supremacy in the South, particularly during the Goldwater campaign and the presidential elections of 68 and 72, made it difficult for the Republican Party to win back the support of black voters in the South in later years. All right, let's see. I want to get to the point. Let's see. Introduction. Let's see. Voting the more Negroes who register as Democrats in the South, the sooner the negrophobe whites will quit the Democrats and become Republicans. That's where the votes are. Without that prodding from the blacks, the whites will backslide into their old comfortable arrangement with the local Democrats. That's not what I'm looking for. I didn't want to take this long on it. Let's see. Come on. 20th century Reconstruction. And you can already see what this is rooted in, all right? Because it's giving you a lot of history. I will put this in the link. You can read it for yourself. That was another setup, Reconstruction. Let's see. All these devils. No president here in America has done anything for us. So I don't, good that is. So I don't know why a lot of people are still into this shit. But you're putting your hope and your trust in the wrong thing. And that's why another reason why we're out here on the highways and byways. You should be praying to the Most High Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shah. That's it. Fuck these, What you're doing is something that we've unfortunately had a history of doing. That's Isaiah 30, 38, 30th chapter and 31st chapter. All right. Trusting in Egypt, your enemy. All right, now let's see. Come on now. Here's a little quote. It says, at the same time, Johnson's campaign, that's Lyndon Baines Johnson, in the Deep South publicized Goldwater's support for pre-1964 civil rights legislation. In the end, Johnson swept the election. And this is a quote by that fucking piece of shit Lyndon Baines Johnson. Now, some have speculated, and I do believe myself, that he was a crypto Jew. His wife was definitely a so-called Jew. It says, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. Hey, see the movie Mississippi Burning. I suggest, if you haven't seen it, came out around 88 or 89 with Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe as two FBI agents. Excellent movie for it. And that's the point, because there's a section in there. You can look it up on YouTube and just get the between 5 and 6 minute clip. And it's called My Daddy Hated That Mule. And it told a story about Gene Hackman's telling the story about his character, telling the story about his daddy was a sharecropper along with this old Jake. And he and the rest of the so-called poor white sharecroppers didn't have a mule, but the black man had a mule, and they hated him for that. And just one day, the mule up and died. And he said he had always suspected that his daddy had something to do with it. And he was in a truck with him one day, and he flat out asked him, he said, Daddy, do you know what happened to that mule? His daddy never said anything. That's a good ass movie. But yeah. Dang it, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's see. Yeah, it's motherfucking George Wallace. Oh my goodness. It's taking me through a whole lot of crap that I really didn't. But this is that fool. Yeah, he's been dead. Oh man, let's see. Southern Strategy. Hold on. It talks about them speaking in code. It's the same thing. Shit. This is the interview. Maybe this is it. Here it is. I was looking in the wrong place. I apologize. Here it is. Damn it, I wasted all that time. This is him talking about speaking in code, what they're good at doing. You start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger. That hurts you. Backfires. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff, and you're getting so abstract. Now, you're talking about cutting taxes, and all these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and a byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. You see? We want to cut this. It's much more abstract than even the busing thing, and a hell of a lot more abstract than nigger, nigger. So they still hate you. A lot of our people, they think because these devils smile at them. No. First of all, why are you seeking these motherfucking devils' love? Why are you seeking the oppressor's love? He's incapable of showing or giving you love, especially. Because he is your enemy. Now the same, what's that word? Indefatigable researcher who brought us Mitt Romney's 47%. Anyway. So yeah, that's basically it. I wasted way too much time on looking for that. It's the first one I should have went to. But in any case, yeah, that's it. These motherfuckers are through. And it's like, aren't we tired? For those of you that still believe in this shit, this election politics bullshit, alright, aren't you just tired of being used like these motherfuckers are? Just used the whole, when it comes to crime. And who are they talking about? Didn't you just see me read in that, I looked up Wikipedia about, and the Southern Strategy there, Lee Atwater, what they were doing. They can't come out and call you nigger to your face or any other shit. They got to be coy about it. They got to be smooth. Be abstract. But they're still talking about fucking us over. That's all I'm gonna play of this. I put the link, of course, to all this in the link. Hey, until the next video, Shalom.